Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Let's turn that like that. Oh, sorry about the noise. Let go. Yes, we are now live on YouTube. It is Tuesday. It's the 21st of December 2021. Lots of two ones in that date, isn't there? Yeah, there is two two and a reversed uh, 21. That's a 12. So it's all 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, history in the making. All right, history in the making. And we're going to be talking about history in the making. Jay, how you going, George? Just got your email and read your email. Brilliant. Very, very, very good, my brother. And I salute you for that. So, look, listen, there was over 1 million people this weekend in London. Is the feed all right? Is the feed all right? Good to see you, Chrissy Dunn. How you doing, mate? Yeah, to see you now. See you now. It's nice to see you. So look, over 1 million people in London this weekend. Okay, now bear in mind, all the politicians are not at home. They never have a bad feeling, Tone. Trust me. Never. Listen, we're winning this now. All right, we are. We're winning this now. In London this weekend just gone, there was 1 million people. All right. Solstice blessings, mate. Search for truth. Yes, that's solstice, isn't it? Winter solstice day. Happy solstice to you if you're into all that paganism and druidism and all that. Not really my cup of tea, but I've been to lots of druid sites. I've been to Chislehurst Caves where they used to execute people and blood sacrifice. I've been to Kit's Cotty where they throw wicker men and keys and all that sort of stuff over. Who's to say? Druids basically are magicians, aren't they? They're clever people, the druids. But it is weird anyway. So the weekend, over 1 million people in London. Right now, you've got to ask yourself, just one. I'm gonna have the old Rona boys round in a minute. I'm gonna have the boys in hazmat suits round here taking me away, having a little cough. Um, Actually, when I do that in Lidl's now, everyone jumps in the deep freezer. I get the whole aisle to myself. It's fabulous. And as I said, these masks, they do save lives, ladies and gentlemen. A mate of mine was in the pub the other day with his girlfriend, and his wife come in looking for him because his dinner was on the table. Because he had a mask on, she didn't recognise him, and it saved his life. So there's always a silver lining, and when the world gives you lemons, what do? Yeah, you make lemonade, and that's what we got to be like. All right. As you know, I'm a bit of a biblical boy, and I'm always guided by the Spirit. And let me tell you, the Spirit is rising like a phoenix now. It is. People are just they're getting it. They're getting it. We've got football lads, football matches, all calling the Prime Minister a CUNT. So the whole country is very, very disgruntled right now and not happy with what's going on. Now, here's the thing: 1 million people from Trafalgar Square to Parliament Square, the whole of Whitehall was full of people. The rear entrance to Scotland Yard, I imagine the police was behind them gates thinking, "Kin hell, not seen scenes like this before." I promise you, it will all come out in the wash that England has descended into Nazi Germany because now we have public serpents, Savage, Javid, and all these others now dictating to us, and they hide behind men with machine guns. They've got to where they want to go, but they failed to realise the passion that the English, Irish, and the Scottish and the Welsh we have for freedom. And we will fight for freedom. When we're pushed, we don't really care who's in power. We don't really care who's doing the talking. We will always strive for freedom. This isn't anything new. We are echoing our ancestral past. That's what we're doing. Auntie Mandy, oi, oi, how you going, Savaloy? Nice to see you. Awaken World Faith. Yes, it is. Right, so the big question is, and for me, there's only one question. about 1 million people being in London at the weekend, and that is why. Why were they there? Why did 1 million people from up and down and around the country? I can imagine there was people there that support Glasgow Rangers. There was people there from Ireland, no doubt, from all around the world, around the country, from the Toon, from Falmouth to the Hebrides. There's got to have been someone there out of 1 million people from every corner of this great nation. And that's the one question I have is why? Why were they there? Why are they now so incensed with what's going on in the education system, the welfare system, every other thing? Why are they so incensed? Why did they feel the need to go there? That's the only question I have. And I'm very grateful that they do the things they're doing, because this is all leading to a fabulous crescendo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to the lads out there, we've all, you all know what the world's like. You know, if you take what's happening with us in the truth movement, this whatever, treat it like a lad with a lady. You don't steam straight in there, do you? You like to take your time, have a little bit of romance, maybe a nice bottle of Chateau de Mandon on, maybe a nice little bit of music, a little cuddle on the old rug in front of the fire, and then boom, your daisy, she's over and done with. And that's exactly the same as this. There's nothing worse than going in cold and dry when you're trying to make love to anyone. And that's what this truth movement is. It's warming up. The foreplay's going on. Sorry, kids, this isn't made for kids, by the way, my videos. So what we're seeing with people turn up at the moment and getting they're chatting with their neighbours and friends and saying, "Here, have you seen all these 2 million people in London? Yeah, what are they all there for?" And they're going, "Well, they're not happy with this and that." "Oh, we'll come next time. We'll come next time." It's the foreplay. We're in the period of foreplay. Now, there's big changes coming, guys. Big changes. Yo, bro! It's Steffi Zircon. How are you, dog? We need a William Wallace. What we need is a William Wallace number 2. No, we don't need another William Wallace, because he ended up with all 4 corners of his body part around the country. We don't need his shoulder blades in the Hebrides and his loincloth in Falmouth. No, we don't. We don't need that. But I don't know what part they sent of him to Norwich or Wales. I don't know what part of William Wallace did the Welsh get, I wonder, out there in Pembrokeshire. I don't know. Maybe they cooked him up. Maybe they used some barbecued spare rib sauce. Who knows? Pubs in Brum are getting ready for lockdown on the 28th. Listen, the truth of the matter is we've turned into a very crazy people. You know, we seem to now be looking at everyone as elves. We look at everyone as if they've all got the lurgy. We're all worried about if they're coughing, they're dropping farts. We're all looking at each other. Oh, has he got? We, in no time period before, really, have we ever been like this? And like, if you go back to the plague, would they have had the luxury of shutting down shops and wares? And no, they wouldn't. They had to carry on regardless. And that's our spirit. Carry on regardless. Right? Jesus said, "What is of the flesh is flesh. What is of the spirit is spirit." And he said, "Let the dead bury the dead." Don't worry about it. Let the dead bury the dead. And that's just how it is. So I don't walk in fear. I don't worry about whether I'm going to catch something. I'm really not. But listen, we're on the precipice of something. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's going to come. But when all these people that go on these dues, they start talking to their friends and families and loved ones, and they start to realize that they've actually got a mission to do. Now, here's the thing. You have right now, 1:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, just before Christmas, every single one of you has the opportunity to take part in making good history. Would you not want your ancestors in 100 years' time to sit in schools, sit in their houses with their family and talk about 2021, 2022 in 3022 and say that all of the people stood up and defeated evil so that we can have better futures? Would you rather die and do nothing in your bed, or would you rather stand up, fill your blood and your body, pump it full of energy, take some risks, and live your life and die in the future as a hero, someone that stood up and said no? What would you rather? Would you rather be a coward, sit in your flat, sit in your house and die in your bed, yeah, laying in your own piss, wondering, oh, I wish I'd stood up because look at life now? Or would you rather go down in history as a hero? Now, when we look back through history at time periods, we always consider King Alfred as a hero. We always consider the glorious revolution of 1688-89 as when greatness triumphed over evil. Or are we all going to let evil romp us? And are we going to descend into a even deeper dictatorship? Are we going to continue to let public serpents rule us, boss us, steal our homes, steal our children's, steal all of our equity and our property? Or are we going to stand up and level this playing field? Are we going to stand up and be remembered in history as the generation that come together in peace, love and harmony, and told their public serpents, who are their own people, enough is enough? The choice is yours. You can make these decisions. I'm not trying to be romantic. I'm not trying to get you too excited. But all I'm saying is, if we do nothing now, at this point in history, then we may deserve the future. But we have an opportunity right now, going into 2022, to level this and to bring all of our public servants back to the rule of law. We can level the playing field and make everybody subject to the rule of law, so that nobody is above the law. No one can demonize on anyone else through companies or the police force. Today, we've seen another policeman who's been keeping files on grooming kids. He's been sacked from the job and facing now criminal prosecution. I've got a funny feeling that these people have no honor. They have no right to be in the positions that they're in, because any government that bashes its own people, for them to comply and to fall into line, has no moral justification or high ground to sit on. None at all. And leaders of a country or of a people are always the last in line. They're the ones that bring up the rear to make decisions when things go wrong. They should be the one holding everybody else up. If I was in a position of trust in this country, in Parliament, in Downing Street, or any such assemblances, I would make it my life's worth to see that no harm come to any of you. No harm whatsoever. That anyone brought before me that went against the rule of law went to prison. I really would. I would have nobody harmed in this country. There would be no harm of your spirit, your soul. Your kids would get fabulous educations. They would be so far advanced by the ages of 8 or 10 that their education would pretty much end there, because we would put the spirit back into this nation. We would put God and his law back where it needs to be, and we get rid of these serpents that currently seem to be having a field day, seem to be rubbing your noses in everything that they do and laughing at you. And that's wholly unacceptable in my eyes. The NHS itself, the National Health Service, is on its knees, just waiting to go pop. The NHS, I don't think, will be around for much longer, guys and girls. I think it is at a busting point. I believe all the nurses, the staff in the NHS, a lot of them have been misguided, but nonetheless, they do with their education as best they can to fix you up and make sure you're all right. Some of them do follow orders and don't question their own morality. The security guards in hospitals now, there ain't really much difference between a prison and a hospital, because we have people in the hospital that say they want to go home, that many times they're forced to stay there. And I don't think that anyone can ever force anyone to do anything. And that would be the mantra. I guarantee to you, if you have a revolution this year or next year, whenever it is that you guys want to have a revolution, if you have people in positions of trust that come from my spirit, my energy, and people like me, you will never, ever, ever be forced to do anything against your will again. No one will have the right to force you to do anything, because I believe and love absolute freedom of choice, freedom of expression, freedom and the right under God to own and keep a home, keep your property, keep your children, and no one in a communist state party has a right to intervene. I'm quite glad that they're building HMS Wells, because there are many, many, many public servants, I do believe, that are currently serving this evil empire that might find themselves in them. I genuinely believe that might be the case, because if a revolution takes place and 1 million or 2 million people, and it's coming, make no mistakes about this, it's coming. We're seeing countries all around the world, Italy, Ukraine. We're seeing Argentina on fire. The people are going mental. We're seeing now the Metropolitan Police and the the Territorial Support Unit, whatever they're called, TSG, being booted out and standing on the bylines, wondering to themselves, how do we get stuck into 1 million people? Well, let me tell you, you don't. Unless you're foolish and a complete idiot. You do not mess in a melee of 1 million people. And it just goes to show you who holds the power. We do. Prison is no good for these people, Dave. You can't put a shine on a turd. Amen, Chris. I agree with you. However, I think we have to be in the light and remain in the light, as tough as that may be. I think we have to, as the people. We're not the ones that have descended into this anarchic state. It's the actual state itself that's descended into this anarchic state, not us. The people just want to be happy. They want to be free. They want to be able to go and do what they want to do when they want to do it. That's all we want. That's all I want. I just want to be free. I have no masters. I have no one that's going to deceive me. And we have been deceived by the system massively, like never before. This country in the last 100 years has changed radically. Was it for the better? Not necessarily. I always felt as a young kid that I lived in the best country in the world, that we had the best system. But now, I don't agree with that. I think the system in this country is all about control. There's always someone in this country wanting to tell you what to do, where you can do it, where you go. No, I don't agree with that. Unless you've done something bad that you don't have lawful excuse over, no one should ever have the right to come and take your children, take your home, take your cars, because The thing is, when they can do that, it means it wasn't yours anyway. We know that the Rothschilds and the other families alike are responsible for this. We know that. And if I was them right now, I'd be a little bit concerned. Because when revolutions happen, they're not nice. They're not nice. When you look back at the French Revolution, they don't happen all the time. They happen every few hundred years, I guess. Every few hundred years, we have a clear out. So we need everyone to come on side. We need the police to stand with us. We need the army to stand with us. We need people in the NHS, the doctors, the nurses, all of them, to stand with us, the people. Because let me tell you, if you're worried about you involved in you not standing up and you staying asleep and doing nothing, the implications for you for the future are far worse than the implications of actually if you stand now and help us rebuild this country and the people and heal each other. That's a far greater proposition, is the latter. Because this system's going to get well out of control. And I don't care what you've got, the system wants it. And it's going to get it. So we now need to stand up. We need to come out on the other side and we need to rebuild this great nation. And we will do. So watch this space, guys and girls, because things are going to get lively. In the next few months, if what you've seen so far going on in London, that's just foreplay. That's just foreplay. You're going to see millions and millions of people descending on the center, the heart of the beast in this country, and they're going to make sure that they level this playing field. And then we can go back to living as the lady on top of the Old Bailey suggests, with the scales of justice, equilibrium, 50-50. Everybody is subject to the rule of law. The judges, the police, us, we're all subject and accountable to it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we need to be. If we want to breathe easy, if we want to ensure that future generations have decent livings and decent lives, this is what we need to do. But we do it with love, we do it with peace, we do it with humility, we do it in sheer mass numbers, and we deny and cancel out this wicked, evil system that's descended upon us. Let's make this country great again. So before I disappear, you got two choices. Your friends, your families, your loved ones have got two choices. You can either die in your bed, a coward, as you get older, and think, I wish I'd have done something. Or you can stand right now with the resonance that's going on in this country. You can make your families, your ancestors, and your forebearers proud to know that you had the courage and conviction to stand up and do what's right in the eyes of God. And if you do that, you will go down in history as taking part in a fabulous time period that all your family and friends for years to come, when you're long gone, can talk about and say, wow, back when the odds were stacked against them, they stood up and said no. I'll leave you with that. Guys and girls, thanks as always for tuning into my channel. If it's your first time, consider subscribing, hit the like button and press the bell for further notifications. I will be back soon. We are warming up. We are all together. One of the great chants that they were using on Saturday, the people, when they were pushing the police back, was, we stand together. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you have people around you of knowledge, of wisdom, of love and passion, there is nothing you can't do. There is nothing you can't achieve. You will achieve things that you never thought possible. Why? Because you decided to stand side by side and stand together. Peace and love.